On the Edge Survival here, what you're looking at is what we have acquired from week 1 and 2 of our 24-week prepping series. So now we are moving on to week 3. Let's take a look at what is on the list for week 3. The list reads 1 gallon of water, 1 can of meat, 1 can of fruit, sanitary napkins, and videotape. So let's talk about that. In the very back, you're going to see the water requirement. These are 12 half liters, and so that's going to be 6 liters of water. A gallon is about roughly right under 4 liters. So if you buy 4 liters of water or more, you've met that requirement and gone a little bit beyond. So we have the water requirement. Have it in the individual water bottles again. And we've talked about that reasoning behind that. Looking slightly to the left, we have, I actually did a little more than what was required. Went with 2 cans of steak and potato soup, and on top for the fruit requirement I have fried apples and mandarin oranges because that's what I like. Looking at the sanitary napkin requirement, went with baby wipes. And these baby wipes, they are hypoallergenic, they're alcohol free, and they're also flushable. Or at least that's how they advertise them. So that's something interesting to have. This one came in a 3-pack, and I think it says there's 144 wipes. So that should last us a little while. As always, let's see, I add a couple things. We'll talk about that shortly. Video camera. Let's talk about that, or the video tape. Videotapes are kind of going out. They're kind of being replaced by SD cards and other popular technologies that I'm probably not aware of. So I did some thinking, and I didn't want to buy another SD card, so I went with a disposable camera. And the idea behind this was that you could take pictures or film of the contents inside your home, and if a national, a big storm, disaster, house fire, whatever emergency could come upon us, you would have a record, a visual record of all the contents in your house, at least the ones of value. So if you have any experience with that, maybe you've done that in the past and it's paid off, please chime in on our comments section and let us know how that worked out. I went with a disposable camera because I wanted to stay away from digital. Maybe something would happen, that we wouldn't have batteries, or we wouldn't have a way to read the SD card or whatever. This way I have physical pictures, because I can take the pictures, send them off, get them back. I have physical pictures of what I have. And one idea was that you could actually store those at a neighbor's house in a safe or something there, and that way if your house caught on fire or flooded, your pictures, your records will be in another place in safekeeping. Just some thoughts, but please chime in on that. That's an interesting topic area. So we have that. As always, I like to add ammunition. You've seen this in video 1, I know, but this is 12 gauge 6-shot that we can use for a variety of things. And for our medical, I always like to add some medical supplies to the list. One thing that we need to add is hydrogen peroxide. Hydrogen peroxide has a lot of different uses. One really big use that I think we overlook, and it's actually printed on the bottle, is oral debriding agent. This is great if you don't have toothbrush, toothpaste. You can rinse your mouth with this, and it really does break up a lot of the foods and plaques and things on your teeth. It works very well for that. It works well for cleaning out your ears. Now keep in mind, if you do these things with peroxide, rinse your mouth out or clean out your ears, you don't want to do it too often, because it can dry out your gums or the membranes in your ears, and that can cause them to be irritated and lead you down a path for other problems there. It's also used for small abrasions, small cuts. You don't want to use this for big cuts, folks. Hydrogen peroxide, it kills everything, and that includes skin cells. It includes cells that are being regenerated to heal. And so you can actually prolong your healing time if you use this for wounds that are big. But it is okay for small, scrapes and things like that, to keep those clean. So that's something to think about too. And last, I have Benadryl, and I've mentioned Benadryl in a previous video. I think we had Tylenol with Benadryl. This is simply just Benadryl. The actual name for Benadryl is diphenhydramine, and so if you're looking for this, turn the box around and it should say diphenhydramine, and that's going to be Benadryl. Benadryl is an antihistamine, so it is good for allergic reactions. It is good for swelling, inflammation, things that are caused by histamine release. Benadryl also will depress the central nervous system, which is going to make you drowsy or sleepy. So if you look, a lot of your sleeping aids are Benadryl or will contain Benadryl in them. And that's actually a cheaper way to get Benadryl a lot of times, is to buy that sleep aid. A lot of times Walmart has it. It's Benadryl. And if you turn the box around like I just showed you, you can see that. So Benadryl is an outstanding drug to have on hand. And something to think about. So that's going to conclude week 3 of our 24-week prepping series. Again, I want to encourage you to put your feedback and comments and thoughts down below, and that way we can all learn together. Folks, I spent $31.86 on what you see in front of you today. And as I always say, there are many ways to do this cheaper, and there's many ways to do this a lot more expensive. But this is what I paid for what I have today. So again, thank you for watching. Stay tuned for week 4.